Hey, welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. It is Saturday morning and I'm starting with a long-awaited project. I have been wanting to put a low-profile roof rack on top of my Honda Pilot. I considered an extruded aluminum build, but today I actually am going to step outside the box and try to build one with some unistrut or super strut and just see what happens. So here are my super strut fittings, and down here are the super strut rails. They're just about an inch in thickness, and I think I have come up with a way how to attach them to make a low profile rack with a lot of options for attachments. So for this project I didn't really need a lot of tools. I needed a Sawzall, I needed a 9/16 inch socket and ratchet. I used a file to burr off some of the sharp metal edges. Needed a measuring tape and a permanent marker to mark where I was going to cut. It was pretty simple. All of the holes in the super strut make for an easy adjustment to create this in the shape, size that you want. Even though I did have to drill a couple holes to just make one particular measurement exact, and I'll show you that later. But the best thing about all these holes is each of those is a potential attachment point for what you want to put on your roof. I decided to use 5 super strut tees and the bolts and nuts that came with the system to build the frame and to create extra attachment points. Part of this project that had limited forgiveness for significant error was the width of the rack that would fit down in between the existing rails of the Honda Pilot. So I had to set it up carefully, take up the slack, and measure it carefully to get the exact measurement. From this view, I have cut my super strut and I have dry fitted inside of the rails so that I can see if I have been successful in determining the right width. This is the final rack, fully assembled, dry fit, and it will go down between the two existing Honda Pilot rails, and it just has a ton of attachment points for whatever I want to put on top of there. So this is the overhead view of the rack dry fit between the rails. I think this is going to work out great. So the actual cost of this build was under $200 for the rails, for the fittings, for the T-bolts that I purchased on Amazon. Very inexpensive. No fancy roof rack purchase, no roof basket purchase. This is ready to go. From this view, you can see how low profile this super strut roof rack actually is. There's only an inch and a half, 2 inches between the actual roof of the vehicle and the super strut roof rack. I was satisfied with the fit of the roof rack between the existing rails on the Honda Pilot, and so I took the rack off and I began to prime it with just some simple Rust-Oleum primer, and then coated it with a final coat of flat black to match the rails that were already on top of the Pilot. This is the final view of the flat black roof rack paint, and it has the L's attached, and those will attach with T-bolts into the side rails of the existing rails on the Pilot. Well, hey, thanks for joining me for another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. Come back next time and I'll show you how we're going to get this on the Pilot.